Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am starting a new organization project and I thought I would share some of that process with you. I have been trying to figure out a way to catalog my ink swatches for all of my Tim Holtz products. And because I am so Tim Holtz obsessed and because his products are just that good, I do have a lot of them. So I was trying to figure out a simple, quick, easy way to catalog them. I got simple, I got easy, definitely not quick because it's going to take some doing, but I think I can manage it. And the best part about it is that I am going to use items from my stash. I am not buying anything new to do this, which is always a win for me. The goal for me in creating this system was just to use what I had. So I started by going through what I had to see if I could kind of Frankenstein something, put something together that works for me. Now, this new system I am going to put together for my inks and other Tim Holtz products is very much inspired by the first catalog that I made. If you will recall, I not too long ago shared with you how I made this Tim Holtz catalog where I keep track of all of these stamps, dies, embossing folders, and other Tim Holtz products that I have. It is a super simple catalog. Essentially what I did was use the photos from Tim Holtz, the product photos from Tim Holtz website. And I was okay with doing that because I'm not selling this. This is for my own personal use. And so I just use his product photos as opposed to stamping out or cutting every single product I have. That was just too time consuming. I didn't have time for that. I didn't want to do that. It was just easier for me to print his product photos. If I had the product, I printed the photo, I put it in my catalog. The only thing I did take the time to do individually were the different stencils that I had. I did go through and go through my collection and created almost a swatch of each of the stencils. And I did that by creating two templates for my catalog. One template was for the bigger stencils, and then a second template I created was for the smaller stencils because I could fit two of those on one page. And once I created those templates, which were essentially just boxes, I took all of my stencils, sat in my backyard enjoying the beautiful weather, grabbed all of my Tim Holtz distress inks, and just had fun creating little swatches. And I hand wrote just the names or the, I guess, product number or code for each of those stencils. So it was fun to do, a great reminder of what I had. And it's just nice to see what the stencil actually looks like when used, if that makes sense. So that was my Tim Holtz catalog, volume 1. And when I made this one, I told you there was going to be a volume 2. And that's what I'm going to work on, volume 2. So as I said, volume 2 is very much inspired by volume 1. But it's going to be organized a little differently because it just has to be. I needed a system where I can have light colored products grouped together, all the swatches for that same color grouped together. So for example, let's take Vintage Photo. In Vintage Photo, I know I have the oxide, the distress ink, the spray, the stain, the crayon, the color pencil, and probably the glaze and the marker. So that's 8 swatches we're talking about. I needed a system where I can organize multiple swatches of same colors together so that I can just track, number one, what I have. And I prefer that system. That's how my mind works. So that's how I need this system to work. So this is what I came up with. I have my folder. I also in my stash have these pocket pages. Y'all remember these from the pocket letter days? I don't make very many pocket letters anymore. I do continue to use these to store my ATCs, but I have an abundance of them, and I thought these would be a great way to create swatches in a size that's manageable, 2.5 by 3.5, and also group all the different swatches together. So my thought was that I would have one of these pages for each of the Tim Holtz colors in his product line. I think he's up to 72. I think he's going to max out at 72. I definitely have plenty of pocket pages, enough to cover that. And the best thing about this system, if for whatever reason he does add more colors, then it's easy enough for me to grab another page and create swatches for whatever that new color may be. But I think he is going to max out at 72. I believe that's what he said. So I had that. I also have an abundance of mixed media paper in my stash. I do agree with something Tim Holtz says a lot in regards to swatches. He says that when you swatch your products, you should swatch them on the type of paper that you tend to use in your projects, because that's the best way to know how the product is going to work for your particular project, how the product is going to look for your particular project. So if you're someone like me, where most of my projects, for example, are made using mixed media paper, and it tends to be the white mixed media paper, then it makes sense to do your swatches on white mixed media paper so that you can see how that product looks on the type of paper that you use in your own project. So it wouldn't make sense for me to swatch these, for example, on black cardstock or watercolor paper, because yes, I use those types of papers, but more often than not, I'm using white mixed media. So that's what I decided to go with. I also have these ring fasteners. I've had these in my stash. These are self-adhesive not ring fasteners, just fasteners. I've had these in my stash for a good long while. I bought these way back when for a Girl Scout project. I made something for my scouts, and I needed some fasteners. All I could find was a box of 100. I obviously didn't need 100, but kept it in my stash, and I'm glad I did, because now I get to use it. So using these items, let me show you what I made. Here is what I made, and it is a bit of a beast. Check this out. This is what the catalog looks like so far. And this is why I love this accordion style spine on this folder, because it's stretched and it definitely accommodates 72 pages, 72 of those 9 pocket front loaders comfortably, with a little bit of room to spare in case I do have to add more. And this is essentially what I have so far. I have the base, the foundation, 72 of these pages, each of them with a 2.5 by 3.5 size piece of white mixed media paper, and each of these pages holds 9 swatches, really 18 if you think about it, because it'll be front and back. And the best thing is it allows me to keep all my colors grouped together. I have not started doing the actual swatching yet, because yes, this is a simple project. Yes, it is an easy project. Yes, it uses a lot of items from my own stash so that I don't have to buy anything. So that's great. It checks off those 3 boxes, but it's not quick. It's going to take some time to swatch these products. But I figured that's something I can do over time. It's not something I have to rush into, but now I have the system that I'm going to use to create these swatches and store them in an organized way, in a way that makes sense to me. So I'm super excited about that. I did have to alter the inside of the folder a little bit. The fasteners for the folder were these top fasteners that meant you would flip the pages up. I couldn't have that because if I flip these up, I was afraid that the swatches, the little cards on the inside, would slide and fall out. So I had to modify the folder a little bit, and this is where those fasteners came into place, because what I did was punch 3 holes, making sure it, it lined up with my page, my pocket pages. I punched 3 holes in each of these folders that were inside, and then used my self-adhesive fasteners to add arms where I can basically just bind them to the book that way, right? I don't know that I'm explaining that in a clear way, but I think you can see what I did. So that's the system. That's my thought process. I'm super excited about this, and I think it's going to work out well. I can't wait until the catalog is done, and I will share the final flip through of the swatches with you. But what I thought we could do together is decorate this catalog. And I have some thoughts on that. I do want to use that same paper collection that I used in volume 1. That was the Tattered Time Stack. This is not a Tim Holtz collection, but it kind of has that Tim Holtz vibe. This is by Die Cuts with a View, DCWV. I'm thinking I want to use maybe these sheets, maybe even this one, because it has a nice, you can't see it, but I could feel it. It has a nice little texture to it. I mean, I have options. There's lots here. Even this is gorgeous. There's lots here I can use to decorate the book. I do want to keep with the paper dolls, but instead of using the paper dolls, I was thinking maybe I can use the portraits. I have the Tim Holtz paper dolls, the portraits. I've been just wanting to use these for the longest, and I haven't had any projects come to mind, but now I think I have an idea. I have an idea forming inside my head that I would like to try on my folder. So humor me and listen to this. What I'm thinking is, of course, cover up all of this unattractive stuff here with some pretty background paper, and it's going to say Tim Holtz Volume 2 somewhere on here, maybe. Okay, I want to use these dolls, and I also want to use these window frames. I have these Tim Holtz window frames that are they're just fabulous, and I would love to use these on the cover of the book. So what I was thinking is, here's a printout of the Distress Color Palette labels. So what I'm thinking is creating windows, and in the background of these windows you're going to have the different distress colors. Peeking from behind the window is going to be one of these portraits, so it'll look something like that. So you kind of have the black and white sepia type tones of the frame and the doll, and then you have that pop of color behind her. I also have some acetate paper. Here's the acetate paper. So we can even create a glass type effect for the window. So, for example, right? Something like that. And then use these windows to decorate the front of the book. I kind of like that. I don't even mind using these frames that have the sill, the little dividers in the center, because look how cute that looks. It looks a little creepy too, which I'm totally, that's my vibe, cute and creepy. She's just like hanging out, staring out a window, and then you have that pop of color behind her. So that's what I'm thinking. And I'm going to make a few of these. So either I will use them for the front of my book when all is said and done, or if I change my mind about it, I will have some really cute embellishments. Super cute embellishments. So that's what I'm going to make today. I'm going to make the little windows. I'm going to make the little portraits peeking out a window embellishment in this video. That's what I'm going to share with you. So if that's something you're interested in watching, then come hang out with me. Okay, friends. So I think the first thing we need to do, or at least the first thing I'm going to do, is glue this sheet of palette labels onto something a little thicker. This is, I think, just some backing for a paper pad. Yeah, so let's stick this onto here. I think I want to use my Monotombo liquid glue. I think that will be okay. I thought about possibly using some double-sided tape, but I always feel better with liquid glue. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Based on experience, double-sided tape will fail with age. Like, the older the project is, if you keep your projects for a long period of time, I think the more likely that double-sided tape is going to fail. I know this because I have, let's try not to stick this to something it shouldn't be stuck to. I have some older makes cards that are now coming apart, like the embellishments are lifting, because I use double-sided tape. And at the time, that's what I used. So I didn't think twice about it. But now I know that maybe not a good idea. If you can use a liquid glue, use a liquid glue. And use a good liquid glue, because not all glues are created equally. This is my favorite. I use this almost exclusively. This is the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. I buy it in bulk from Amazon when it's on sale. And that's usually during like a Prime Day type event, because I am a Prime member. I usually get a good deal on a box of that stuff. Otherwise, it's pretty pricey. I tend to use this glue. I mean, depending on what you're gluing to what. Tombow Mono Liquid Glue, fabric tack when I'm dealing with fabrics or other textured type items that mono liquid glue won't work on. And I do occasionally use a glue stick. And even my glue stick, I'm very particular about the kind of glue stick I use. I use the Scotch glue stick, because that just works for me. So those are my three favorite glues. Okay, so we have that. Let me now decide which dolls I want to use and which frames I want to use. All right, let's start there. Let's start with these guys. Maybe. I think her hat might be too big, though. I don't know. Let's get some frames and see. I'm going to pull out some of the bigger frames. That's a really big frame. And we have that frame. We have these frames right here. And this is, I do believe it's just called window frames. Yeah, window frames. I don't know when these came out. The product code is TH94248. 2022, so last year, not that old. Okay, let's see. I mean, her hat is a bit much, I think, for... Can't really see her. We could definitely see him. Might as well maximize the space. That works. So one there, one there, one there, and one there. I think that works out perfectly. So let's get some acetate. I think first we cover the windows with the acetate. Okay, here's the last one. I'm going to try this one different. I'm going to try gluing it onto the acetate first and then trimming it. That might be easier. That's probably what I should have been doing all along, but you know, it took 3 before I finally figured out an easier way. It's always like that. It's also easier to see this way. Goodness, Jimmy. Yeah, much easier to see this way. Well, there you go. Easier way to do it is just adhere the window onto the acetate first and then trim it. Miss Steady Hands here. Do you see? Got a bad case of the shakes today. Sometimes the shakes are so bad I have to stop crafting because, especially if I'm trying to do something precise, I just can't be precise when your hands are shaking. And no, I'm not nervous. Not at all. It's just a condition that I have to deal with. All right, I think I have all 4 windows now, so let's put the acetate away. Cool. I got some glue on that one, but you know what? I need to get over myself. It is what it is. Okay. I think what I need to do is generally figure out, I mean, I know that just looking at this, it looks like it should be this way, but I think I like it better that way. No, I don't like it better that way. We're gonna go this way. So this dude is going to be in that area, she's going to be in this area, she's going to be in this area, and she's the biggest one by far, so we have to be careful. So I think if I just cut across here on the cracked pistachio, it should be okay. So cracked pistachio is what I said, right? Right above. So let me get my trimmer. Hope that's what I said. Because that's what I'm cutting. Cracked pistachio. And then right down the middle. Definitely going to have to do more trimming, but this is more manageable pieces. Probably hear the vacuum cleaner in the background. That's my mom. She lives with me. Such a blessing to have her with me. But more importantly, I just love having her with me. I get to see her every day, talk to her every day, and believe me, that is a blessing. You don't realize how much of a blessing it is until you can't do that anymore. My mom's mom passed away recently, and it's been hard for her because she can't talk to her and see her the way she used to. And it made me appreciate even more the fact that my mom is still here and I get to see her and talk to her every day. Alrighty, I'm going to use that same liquid glue. Adhere her there. I really should have thought about her placement a little bit more before I made it final. Yeah, that works. I just don't like having this behind her, so I will think that through a little better on this next one. Yeah, see how much better it looks when you're covering that. Yeah, so this one we're going to place a little differently. We're going to place her like that. Okay. Shame. I didn't think that one through a little better, but still, we will make it work. You're not catching me a second time though. You're not. There we go. Better, right? Better. Maybe I can put something behind. Oh, I mean, well, I could do her like that. Okay, that might work. All right, all right, all right. Saved. Let's think about how we're going to place her. Yeah, I definitely want her around there. Let me make a little mark. So believe it or not, my friends, this is my 1000th video posted here on YouTube. Can you imagine? That's my boy. I'm not sure what's setting him off, but his dad is upstairs. He can handle it. 1,000 videos. Oh, too much glue on that one. Let's see. Let's get a baby wipe. Okay, that's good. 1,000 videos. That's a lot of videos. And I was trying to figure out what, if anything, I can do to celebrate that fact. Do I want to celebrate that fact? But couldn't think of anything spectacularly different than the types of giveaways I've done in the past. But I did decide I am going to do a giveaway. I just don't know what yet. You know what? It didn't even occur to me that I could also do this window sideways. You do lose a lot of his top hat. Kind of like that better. Yep, I'm just going to stick with the original plan. Going to stick with the original plan. Now, something I could have done to get rid of some of this bulk on the front is peeled off the top layer and remove some of that excess chipboard. That would definitely make this a little flatter, which probably would have been a good idea since this is going to be on the front of the book. But I didn't do that, so I'm just going to have to live with it because I already adhered the acetate to the back, so I'm not going to waste all of that acetate and peel it off and then glue it on again. But just a little tip for you: if you have any interest in using these frames on projects where bulk is an issue or it can't be two-dimensional, you can peel away some of the chipboard material and make them thinner. It's very easy to do. I do it with the quote chips all of the time. All of the time, because the quote chips are fun to use, but they are kind of thick. I know it looks a little crazy now, but once we trim it down, it'll look better. We have two. Now she's the one I could have done the placement better. Oh no, that works. That works. We're going to do it that way. I'm not going to stress her too much. Clean off some of this glue. Okay. Now I did recently receive a comment on one of my edited speed run mixed media videos from a person who said that they would prefer that I did a speed through of the supplies that I used and let the actual process itself play in real time. And I totally get it. And it would make it easier for me in terms of editing videos. My only problem with that is real time with my mixed media projects is a long time. And I don't want to post videos that are over an hour long. I just don't want to do it. I don't think anybody would want to watch that. So I'm trying to find a happy middle ground. It's probably going to involve sharing some projects in multiple parts instead of just trying to get it all in one video. I try to put it all in one video simply because I always think it's nice to see something from, like, you know, beginning to end in one sitting and not have to wait for another video. And there's also no pressure to post the follow-up video in a timely manner because my posting is not as consistent as it used to be, simply because of my work schedule. So I'm trying to find a happy middle. So I don't know. Let me know down below. Do you prefer longer videos? Do you prefer shorter videos, which would mean breaking down some of my projects into multiple videos? Are you okay with speed process type videos? What do you prefer? What do you like? I'm always interested in hearing other opinions. I did acknowledge that person's comment. I noted it because I get it. I would find it frustrating too if I was just interested in more the process and less the materials used. But that was my way of dealing with lengthy videos, and it might not be the best solution, but it's the only one I can think of right now. And I'm always open to recommendations, suggestions, all that fun stuff. So this is what we have, my friends. Now I have to trim these down to size. I'm going to use my very sharp blade here, and just I'm going to put a little bit of pressure and do multiple passes as opposed to putting a lot of pressure and try to get it all done in one pass. This is the safest way to make these kind of cuts with such a precise and sharp blade without losing a finger or accidentally cutting into a part of the project that you don't want to cut into. So slow and steady. And we are done. Well, at least with the cutting part. I think they do need some inking around the edges. And for that, I think I'm going to use archival ink. I don't think I want to use oxides. I don't want to use the oxides or the distress inks because they are water activated. So if I accidentally spill or somehow get the covers of these books wet, which is always a very real possibility, then I risk activating the ink. I thought I grabbed my tin with the black, but let's see. You will have to excuse all the fussing in the background because apparently I didn't. Here it is. Got it. And of course it's the bottom of the stack. Where else would it be? Never on the top, always on the bottom. So I have black soot. Let's do black soot. I could also use some wax. I do have wax. Let me try the wax. Might be easier. My Gilder's my Gilder's wax paste in black. Let's try that. That might be better. It's a little more intense. Yeah. We're gonna go with that. It's also messier, which I'm totally okay with, but just FYI, it's messy. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. Faster too. And once that dries, it's pretty permanent. Yes, better. So I'm going to do the same to all of them. Do that work for me. So, yay. That's done. So I'm going to clean up here a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and wrap up this video for now. I think the windows is as far as we're going to get today. Yeah. So let me clean this up and I'll come back and wrap this up. Here are the finished windows. I think they turned out great. Will I use all of them on the cover? I don't know, but I love the way they turned out. I love the pops of color behind them, and the background makes sense for the particular project that I'm using them for. So let me know what you think. Which is your favorite one? Interestingly enough, the first one where I complained about the placement of the doll is my favorite one. I think this is my favorite one. So that is going to be all for this video, my friends. Thank you, my friends. I will catch you all in my next video. Until next time, bye-bye.